It's time now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
Well, welcome everyone to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. We're keeping you informed what's happening in healthcare, and as you know, the leaders in healthcare, Lehigh Valley Health Network. Today, we're going to respond to some of your requests. I know when my wife and I are some places, you come up and thank us for the shows, a lot of valuable health information, but introducing to you the doctors and the people that you go to see, we'd like to let you know that what we have to offer. Now, we get a community update today by the man himself, Terry Purcell, who is the president. He's president of everything, my friends. I mean, you got all these titles here. President of Northeast Region, LVHN, president of LVHN, president of your household. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, not the president there.
I didn't throw it. Okay. Terry, first of all, congratulations on doing a fabulous job. I know Schuylkill, we're doing the shows down there and up here, and it's just so nice to see so many great things happening in healthcare, protecting the welfare of our community, and we bring you on because we need an update of what's happening. I know a lot of exciting things happen. We could probably spend a couple hours, but tell us what's going on.
Well, first of all, the healthcare industry is in a little bit of chaos right now financially. We're paying traveling employees. We're paying premium dollars for people to staff our hospitals, and so it's really causing a financial crisis in our healthcare industry. And fortunately, at Hazleton, we're in very good shape. We continue to do well financially. Our employees, they tend not to leave when they come to Hazleton. So the national turnover is 26% of all healthcare workers, and at Hazleton it's only 10%.
Wow.
So we continue to do well financially. Our quality scores continue to improve. Our patient satisfaction continues to improve. So things are going very well at
On that
Hazleton.
subject alone, when you're talking about quality care, and because we talked about this before, and I want you to understand, my friends, when you get the questionnaires, they're extremely important that you fill them out, and because you review that. Bill was telling me the same thing. It's very important, and tell us why.
So first thing every day, I turn on my computer, I look at our patient comments. We want to make sure we're taking care of their healthcare needs. We want to make sure we're making it personal for them. So it's very important to hear the good and the bad, because if there was an unpleasant experience, we want to try to rectify that. So every day we're calling our patients. We call every patient that's discharged from Hazleton just to make sure their recovery is going okay.
That's amazing. Now, you talk about expenses, so you're talking about the financial crisis that the healthcare industry, that's interesting.
It is.
And why is it that Hazleton's doing so well?
Well, we have a very well-oiled machine in Hazleton. We have great providers. Our medical staff is very strong. We offer a nice mix of inpatient and outpatient services. And as we talked about on our last show, we continue to recruit several new providers to the Hazleton market. We mentioned the last time that we recruited 26 new providers in the last calendar year.
Amazing.
And we're still going. So since our last show.
Why is that, Terry?
Hazleton's a great place. It's a great location. It's close to the cities, but at the same time, it offers the balance of living in a community like we have here in Hazleton. And also, you see all the growth that's going on. You see all the great things that Joe Latier and Can Do is doing to bring new jobs into the market. So Hazleton's definitely on the upswing.
And you have doctors here, and where we talked to Dr. Carrato and Dr. Pasquale, who have been here, been involved a while. Now we have the Cancer Center. Tell us what's the update on that.
So the Cancer Center is progressing nicely. It's scheduled to open in August of this year, August 1st, so we're excited about that. Patients will no longer have to travel to Allentown for their cancer care. They could get it right here at Hazleton. Luzerne County has the 5th highest death rate from cancer, and so it's very much needed in our community.
Well, that's it's sad to say, but this is going to be state of art.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can't believe it's going up so fast.
It's going really fast. They're doing a great job.
And now we have other information. We have a Dr. Guerrero.
So Dr. Guerrero is a vascular surgeon. He was out at Berwick, and when Berwick Hospital closed, we reached out to him, and he's covering us in our Schuylkill campus for 5 days a month. So if the need is there, he'll be there more often, but he's a very good surgeon, and we're very fortunate to have him in Schuylkill.
Now, another place that is really doing well is Carbon.
Carbon's doing fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, tell us about Carbon.
Our Carbon Hospital, we knew it would be a success. We didn't realize how much the community loved Lehigh Valley. Yeah. So the hospital is the ER volumes are double what we expected. Our inpatient volumes are almost triple what we expected. So we're only open 8 months now, and we're already in an expansion project. We're putting in an ICU. We're expanding our med-surg beds. Our Carbon Hospital has been very well received by the community.
In looking for doctors and recruiting, okay, what primarily do you look for so our viewers know that when you're putting a doctor in the system, you know, that person's fully qualified?
So we have very high standards when it comes to recruitment. We want to make sure our physicians are board certified. If they're not board certified, that they're eligible if they just finished their residency or fellowship. So we look for community fit. We want to make sure that someone's not coming just to try to take a job. We want them that they want to come to Hazleton because they want to be part of the community, that they like the type of lifestyle that we have in Hazleton.
People who come here, you know, who get their health care and they really are pleased, okay? And one person said to me up at Boyer's, we were at Boyer's supermarket, and she said, "Mr. Lesante, how could we help? How can we help the hospital? Because they do so much good, and all the people work there are so nice. How could we do? I mean, how can the community help the healthcare system that we have here?"
Well, first of all, we'd like the community to use local services. We have a lot of great doctors. 73% of the people stay local for their health care, but there still are people that leave to go to another community for their health care. So we'd love for everyone to use Lehigh Valley and use our services and use our physicians.
Boy, Terry, it was a hell of a different story many years ago. It was like 27% staying, and everyone
Absolutely.
And look at the good work that has been done. And I tell people over and over again, you know, there's so many physicians and healthcare that's available to them, you know, in our area, except for specialties. Okay, keep up the good work, my friend. It's so nice to talk with you, and I don't care what Bill says about you. I think you're doing a great job.
It's always a pleasure.
Yeah,
so thank you.
Coming up next, my friends, we're going to bring Pasquale. Now, his grandfather's name was Pasquale. I love that. It was funny. He is a big person. He's physician-in-chief, Institute for Surgical Excellence, and no stranger to anyone here in Hazleton and northeastern Pennsylvania. Anthony Carrato, great doctor. We're going to talk to them next after the break. Well, welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. And once again, folks, thanks for making the Sam Lesante Show the #1 talk show in northeastern Pennsylvania. And for all of you who participated in that scientific poll with the Susquehanna Polling and Research, I really appreciate it. We're here giving you an update at the Hazleton, Lehigh Valley Hospital, Hazleton. And as you requested, sometimes you like to hear from the doctors. And joining me again, he did so well on the last show, Dr. Michael Pasquale. Now, you know, I said he's the physician-in-chief for Lehigh Valley Health Network Institute for Surgical Excellence. That's Surgical Excellence. Nice to have you, Michael.
Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, well, the show went so well, and they said, bring this guy back again. I said, all right, bring him back. I said, but if you get more popular than me, Mike, you're off.
That's
the air.
right. Well, I appreciate it. It's good to be
well,
back.
just so you know, well, it's nice to see you again.
Good to see you.
All right, so tell us what's behind the Institute and what it means to our community members.
Yeah, we've developed several institutes now around our key service lines. And the idea behind the institutes is for the community really to provide wraparound care so that it's one-stop shopping for them. They can get all the needs, all their cancer needs. I think you heard Terry Purcell talk about the new cancer center. Our goal is to provide all you need for cancer at that center. Same thing in surgery. We want to be able to provide a depth and breadth of service across all surgical specialties so that you know you're getting the best quality and you're going to have the best outcome and you're going to be able to take care of whatever you need from a surgical standpoint in the community. So that's the idea with the institutes, is build that wraparound care, build for strategic growth, provide the resources so that this guy can do his job, do what he needs to do, and not have to worry about getting the things he needs. The other piece of it is innovation. You know, we're really trying to innovate so that our patients have less pain, less time in the hospital, and they get back to their quality of life sooner. Some of the things we talked about in the last time I was here is our robotic program.
Yeah.
You know, smaller incisions, less tissue disruption, allowing people to recover faster from their surgeries.
Before we get into the list of some of the surgeons we have, how do you determine the needs for specific modalities? How do you determine that?
Yeah, so a lot of it is looking at what's going on across the country, and we're we're very in tune to that. Looking at what people are doing, working with some of the companies that actually promote their equipment. So we have a very close working relationship with Intuitive, is the company that develops robotics. We actually are one of their preferred customers. We have worked with them in a way that they actually come to us now to teach new physicians robotic technique, because we're one of the leading robotic surgery programs in the country as far as volumes go.
Joining me is Dr. Carrato, no stranger to northeastern Pennsylvania. Doctor, how is it working with a robotic instrument?
Oh, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. It like Dr. Pasquale said, it's making small incisions. It's getting patients out of the hospital quicker. It's much less pain. It's very, very good for the patients.
Yeah, I always think that, if when you're there, the robotics, but you have more control. You have more control.
More fine control. Yeah, it makes things easier. It definitely does.
Some of the doctors,
especially, and Tony's humble, especially if you're as good as he is. As you know, well known in the area, been here for a long time, and there's a reason people are here for a long time, right? Yeah. He's good.
And everybody knows it.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about some of the doctors you have that recently have joined. These people, half of them I know.
Dr. Favela
Yeah.
in orthopedics. So Tony, again, well known to the community, took a little break from us, went down to Delaware, and about 2 years ago we were able to successfully woo him back to come back into the community. And not surprisingly, Tony's doing exceptionally well, building a phenomenal orthopedic practice up here, well known to the area. Again, great surgeon.
Do you know Tony well?
I've gotten to know him well.
Well,
yeah.
I grew up with their family. He has the best bedside manners he's just very concerning, and he's just a great orthopedic surgeon.
He is. He's fantastic results. And again, utilizing robotic technology.
Yes.
To improve outcomes, get patients in and out of the hospital faster, and get them up and around quicker.
And Dr. Hernandez?
Yeah, John Hernandez. John has been in the region for a number of years, hand surgeon, extremely good hand surgeon. We were able to pull him away from one of our competitors and get him to join us in the Hazleton market, also doing a little bit at Carbon as well. Really starting to ramp up his hand practice. I think it's one of the things we're trying to do is let people know that John's here, because it's a huge asset to have a hand surgeon in the community. Yeah. A lot of times these folks were being sent out, coming down to the valley or going to a competitor, but right now they can stay in the area and get outstanding hand surgery. Dr. Kakapan just recently joined us, general surgeon, kind of a mid-career type of person, been out for about 5 years, and again just started with us and is slowly ramping up his practice, doing a lot of minimally invasive surgery and looking to get on the robot as well.
Who's Dr. Sammy?
Yeah, Dr. Sami, Ravi Sami. Ravi is our new chief of otolaryngology head and neck surgery. Outstanding surgeon. We recruited him from University of Cincinnati. And Ravi is coming in to help us build our head and neck program. Does a lot of things that we weren't doing before. So does a lot of skull-based surgery, which complements our neurosurgery team. And he's also doing some cochlear implants for folks with hearing loss. So again, really expanding the breadth of service. One of Robbie's goals, and he'll be partnering with Drs. Pollack and Hahn up here in ENT. One of his goals is to develop a hearing and tinnitus center, because there's been now a nice correlation shown between hearing loss and the development of dementia. So the feeling is that if you can prevent hearing loss, you can potentially prevent dementia, which is incredible. And as you know, I mean, with the aging population, it's huge. Oh, yeah. So we're really looking forward to Dr. Sammy. He started last week, and we're already beating the doors down on him. So yeah, he's a great person.
How do you know? I asked Terry this question, but in your position, because you have to interview him, what do you look for when you're looking for a surgeon?
Yeah, I think that, you know, number one, you're looking for somebody that you think's going to be a fit, somebody you can talk with, somebody who personally, you know, somebody who's humble, who comes to you, who's engaged, who wants to really have a conversation about joining you, and then obviously some qualifications. So, you know, look at their training. Where do they train? How long have they been places? You know, tend to look for people that have been at places for a period of time, or if there's a new graduate that's coming from a good program, tend to stay away from people that have bounced around a lot. So those are kind of the big things that I look for, and then I always look for how they treat our staff. Character's what you do when nobody's looking. So that's important for us.
I always like to ask anyone I interview is you have to have a passion for what you're doing, okay? And you know, there's a guy here, Tony Carrato, has a passion for what he does, and you can tell in the performance of what he does. You know? Don't you look for that?
Oh yeah, you want somebody who's excited and engaged when you're talking to them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody who's excited about what they do.
Yeah, because you know, especially when you're going for surgery, Tony, you know, you have a person. First of all, they're scared. You know, and you have to be comforting, etc. And
You have to be a calming voice. Correct?
yeah, and they need that because you know, and they need to be comforted. You know, and I think that's a skill. And I mean, you know, your background. You know, what is it, your background? Remember what
Trauma and general surgery.
Yeah.
So trauma and general surgery. So
that's a challenge in itself. We have two other doctors here. I want to make sure I get them in, Dr. Knockham and Dr. Mahoney. Two great people.
they've been working with him now for Dr. Mahoney for
5 or 6
5
years.
or 6 years, and Dr. Knockham 2 to 3 now.
Now
right?
4.
4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So
Time goes fast.
We're going to take a quick break and come back and talk to Dr. Carrato. Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. Thanks for staying with us. Remember, 24/7, ssptv.com. Our health shows are all there. Also, you can go to Lehigh Valley Health Networker, and they'll get all the information. I'm talking to Dr. Pasquale and Dr. Carrato. Of course, Dr. Anthony Carrato is no stranger to us here. Dr. Hazleton native. How long have you been with in the area?
I started in Hazleton in '96, so 26 years plus.
Wow. You were in private practice.
Private practice until 2019 when I joined Lehigh Valley.
How is it working for this?
Oh, it's wonderful. Yeah.
You can say
with
what
my
you
boss
want.
standing here.
Well, Terry's not even here, right?
It's wonderful.
No, seriously.
Seriously, it is wonderful. They provide all the ancillary support I need. If I have something that I can't handle here, I have a referral base that I can easily send it to. So it's been wonderful.
One thing I like about this network, which I think is the number one, Lehigh Valley Health Network, is the team approach, okay? So you're working with other doctors. Tell me about some of the doctors that you're working with.
And that's one of the reasons I joined. I liked where Lehigh Valley was going. I liked that they were developing a good surgical team. At the time when I joined, Dr. Mahoney and Dr. Knockham were part of the team. Dr. Mahoney does a lot of minimally invasive surgery and robotic surgery. He does the bariatric program in Hazleton. Dr. Knockham is a colorectal board-certified surgeon who does a lot of colorectal surgery, and they're just good guys, good to work with.
In your experience, looking at when you were back as a private, working, you know, in your own practice, and some of the advances that you've seen in healthcare, okay, it's like phenomenal, isn't it?
26 years.
Yeah, I mean, share some of those, because it's always interesting, you know, to see how you grow. And
I mean, when I was a resident, we were doing the first laparoscopic gallbladder. Now we're doing robots. Just that alone is unbelievable. A lot of the minimally invasive vascular surgery that we do, the stenting, the repair of aneurysms through the groins, just things like that have dramatically changed over the last 20 years.
And working with new equipment, the latest in equipment, which they're on the state. You guys are always on top of things with your state of art.
Try to be. Yeah, we really do try to be. I mean, again, we've got a great team of people. We meet. So for the Institute of Surgical Excellence, we have a leadership meeting every week to really talk about, you know, what is new, what's going on, and always trying to think of how can we improve things for our patients. How can we make it better?
How do you learn about new things? I mean, you had us trained work robotics, right?
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, so how do you learn about and keeping abreast of what's going on?
Well, it's like Dr. Pasquale said. It's a lot of the reps will approach you. They'll offer new techniques, new devices. You'll do research and read the articles, and then sometimes you'll be going to training courses for robotics. It was a pretty extensive training course that you had to go to. I'm sure now in residency they train throughout residency. But once you're in private practice, getting certified in a new procedure is a lot of hard work and steps to do that.
So let's talk about bedside manners. Okay, we alluded a little bit about that, where a you're in for surgery, and of course it's. I'm the biggest baby in the face of the world. My blood pressure goes when I'm getting my eyes checked. How do you approach that as a surgical doctor? Before this, how do you approach that patient and comfort them?
Well, every patient's different, obviously.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just holding a hand and just telling them everything's going to be all right. Sometimes it's cracking jokes with the patient and just trying to make them feel at ease before the surgery.
Yeah.
But part of it is just knowing what to do and how to approach the problem and explaining to them what the plan is and what's the best approach.
Yeah. And that's all you can do. I mean, and because, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like the big thing is patients want to know you care.
That's
right? Patients want to know you care.
Right.
And I think that actively listening to them and really empathizing with them at this juncture, right? So for it might be Tony's 1,000th gallbladder, right? But it's that patient's first.
That's right.
And I think being able to listen, which obviously he does very well, that's key. That's key, and building that trust so that person has that trust in you, and they know that you care about them.
I was kidding Dr. Greco many years ago. He was a very close friend of mine, and he said doing an appendix, right? I says I could do an appendix. He says, yeah, anyone do it. The problem is if you get a complication, what happens then? You see, what I mean? So that's the deal, right? You remember Dr. Vic Greco? You don't remember him, but you know him well, right? But I mean, he was certainly ahead of his time. Interesting how, it's the knowledge that you have, which is important. And I got to tell you, Tony, I've been doing this show a long time, and I've seen so much progress, and I keep telling the viewers, both in Schuylkill and Haley, we have the best with Lehigh Valley Health Network. I mean, there's no question about it, and compliment to all you people. I hope I never have to see you in surgery. As much as I like you, Tony, that's about it. Mike, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you very much.
It's always nice seeing you.
Pleasure
Tony,
seeing
it's nice
you.
seeing you again. Folks, it's the Lehigh Valley Healthcare Network. It's keeping you informed. We'll bring more doctors on, let you know what's happening. And if you have any questions, sam@ssptv.com. Be more than happy to take your questions. We'll see you next time.